take a look.
This is an issue that I don't think people really understand how big of an issue it is. I think people are like, yeah, it's terrible, but I mean, some of these statistics that we're going to get into, it's mind-blowing how much bullying affects kids. We see bullying on TV and we see bullying in the hallways, but what does a bully really look like?
Well, a bully could be anybody. I mean, there's not so much what they look like. It's really coming from what they feel inside. What I think of when someone bullies is they're calling out for a place of connection. One of the things that I'm concerned with in schools with programs that they call anti-bullying, or when a state legislature will have an anti-bullying policy, it's anti, it's negative. You know, it's anti-anti. And so often people who bully, they themselves get labeled. They're called the bully rather than someone who is bullying. And so it's really, what do they look like? It's someone who's calling out for help, who doesn't feel that sense of connection with their peers.
Wow. What makes someone become a bully?
It's often they've been bullied themselves, they've observed it in their lives, they've seen other people, maybe a brother or a sister who got bullied maybe in the home.
I was looking at some of these statistics about bullying, and it just blew my mind. Every 7 minutes, a child is bullied. 5.7 million teens are bullied or have been bullied. 1 out of every 4 kids is a victim of, I mean, these statistics, well, how big of an epidemic is bullying?
You know, it's such an interesting question, Raj, because I know adults, many adults, people 30s, 40s, 50s, who look back and they'll say, well, you know, it happened when I was going to school. When it happened years ago, there wasn't as much of a support system for people to talk about it. It was always seen as a rite of passage. You know? It's not a rite of passage. It's not a rite of passage to be afraid to go to school. It's not a rite of passage to hide in the bathroom between periods. That's wrong. And I don't know if it's gotten worse so much as there's a greater awareness around it. But I love the way you've used the word epidemic, because if you're familiar with the concept of a tipping point, when things get to a crucial point where some decisions that are made, some strategies that might be taken, can tip the balance. And in this case, with bullying, the key players are the bystanders. The majority of children in schools, they're not bullying other kids. And they're not being victimized either.
I'm going to go into something kind of serious right now. When you have the shootings at Columbine, or the shootings at Virginia Tech, a lot of the reasons that these people give for these atrocious things that they do, you know, even someone like Rebecca Black, who's a singer, she leaves school because she's bullying. How much it affects these kids isn't realized. I mean, how much does bullying really affect a kid?
We always think of it sensationalized, the physical form of bullying, you know, beating someone up, threatening them. But the more common form is called emotional violence, where your feelings are intentionally hurt by someone else, and it does start at a very, very young age.
I think you've kind of spiked everyone's curiosity into why you have that guitar and what this whole music thing is.
Okay. I grew up in a musical family, and the music was not just playing music and jamming. The music was a way to make, again, connections with people. And so I grew up playing music. You know, I've done recordings and I've done other things in the musical world. But as a teacher in school and as someone who works with kids in schools now, I find that bringing the guitar in, it opens them up. In about 4 minutes, you can open their emotional memory bank up. And if you create the environment where they feel connected, again, connected and safe, then real-life conversations will happen. So the music, I realized, was a wonderful way to teach.
Can you play one for us?
I will. It's called Please Let Me In. I'd ask you to sing with me, but I know your voice isn't so great.
You don't want me to sing right now.
Please let me in. Don't push me away. I need you to listen to my words today. You don't even know what I've seen or where I've been. Please, please, just let me in. I don't know why you all treat me this way. First you call me names, then you say it's just play. I feel like I did something wrong or committed a sin. Please, please, just let me in. Please let me in. Don't you push me away. Well, I need you to listen to my words today. You don't even know what I've seen or where I've been. Please, please, just let me